Hi, welcome to Magical Lemons YouTube channel. I'm your host, Breland, and today I'm going to show you how to weave in your ends. So this lovely piece here is a shawl that I'm working on for an order, and I need to finish my tails. So first thing you'll need is a yarn needle, which is different than a regular needle because it has a big eye right there. And so the first thing we're going to do is always kind of tighten up my ends. So these ends are actually a part of this stitch, the center stitch here. And so I like to tighten it up, make sure it's nice and secure, but not too tight. Okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one end and I'm going to thread my needle. Okay. And so this is the back of my work. That's the next thing you need to do is you need to identify the front and the back of your work. So this is the back of my work. This is the front. And the reason why I know it's the front is because it has this nice ridge here from the texture of this pattern that I was following. So the next thing I need to do is I need to decide what I'm going to do with this yarn in. I have a couple of options. So this is part of a cluster here, so I can go up and go into these stitches, or I can go down and go into these stitches. Because the easiest is going to be up, I'm going to go up. So what you'll want to do is take your yarn needle and weave it into those ends. And you're not pulling super tight. You are just gently pulling the yarn through. Now, we've gone through a couple of stitches and I'm going to flip this over. You can't see them on this side. That's what you want. You don't want to see your stitches. Or rather your yarn. So the next thing I'm going to do, which is I suppose controversial in the crochet and knitting world, because I also do this with my knitting, is I actually tie off my ends like in sewing. So we'll pretend like we're going through another stitch, another body of a stitch, and then before pulling it all the way through, I have this loop and I'm going to go back through in the opposite direction. And you see how it creates this loop, and then my yarn is actually through the loop. Alright, now I'm going to pull it ever so gently. And it creates this knot. Now I hide mine, so then I'll go back through some more stitches, the bodies of some stitches here. And you can't see it. It's gone. And I do this multiple times. I like to have my yarn ends a lot longer than they need to be because I don't want to run out of yarn. And I want them to be really well woven in. And I go through a few stitches and then I make another knot. So I pull it through. But before pulling it all the way through, I go back through it with my needle. And then I gently pull. And it tightens it up. And then I hide it. And I do this for all of my projects. If I have a border, I'll hide it along the border. See? You can't see it. It's hidden within those stitches. And so I'll just keep going because I don't want these coming undone. So the reason why you knot them is because they don't come undone. Hand sewing, you do the same thing. You sew in and out, and then to tie it off, you go back through one of your previous stitches. So in this case, it would be our work, one of the loops of our work, and then you poke it back through itself to tie it off. So you're tying it off to itself. And So not a lot of YouTubers do this. I have never had any of my ends come out, even with washing, drying, children. I have never had any of them come undone. So I would say overall it's very effective. So something you want to pay attention to is, let's say you just had double crochet. So this is just double crochets right here between my two thumbs. You want to follow along the body of the stitch. What I'm working in now is actually it's actually a single crochet row on top of my double crochet cluster. So these are my double crochet clusters. And then this is my single crochet row, and then this is my edging. So I'm actually working in between the double crochet cluster and the single crochet because that's the most logical place for me to hide this. Because down here, flip this over, this is a half double crochet in the third loop, so the body of it is just different and it wouldn't hide the ends as well. But you really have to just decide where's the best place for you in your project. Okay, so this is why I have such long ends, because I need to make sure that they're hidden well. And so I'll weave one in one direction, typically to the left first, and then I'll go and do the other strand to the right. And it's in the center of the row because I had to get another ball of yarn. I never do different joins. I just leave long tails and weave them in. I don't want to lose my stuff, lose my work. I don't want it to come undone. So, and you just keep going, and with all of your ends, you just sew them in and you hide them the best you can. And then whenever I get to the end, I make sure I have, probably this much yarn left. And I tie it off one more time, and then I weave it in completely, and then whatever excess pops out, I just cut that little strand. So I hope this has been helpful in how you finish your crochet projects. Feel free to check out some other videos that I have on my YouTube channel. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll be back soon. Bye for now.